Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer related video. As you can tell by the title, we have another beer machine, another draft beer dispenser, and this was picked up from Aldi, released today. This is Sunday the 2nd or 3rd of June, and I noticed the other week that they were releasing this beer dispenser, and straight away I thought I've got to give it a go. Now, as you can tell by the title, is this Aldi's version of the Fizzics? And that is what we are looking at. Now, about 3 years ago, a machine was released, or a little beer dispenser like this was released, called the Fizzics. It was around the £100 to £150 mark. I know a couple of reviewers got sent one and reviewed it. I kind of got the impression, yeah, it was sort of gimmicky, but sort of done what it was supposed to do. So when I saw this, I had to pick it up. Now this one is from Ambiano, like I say, one of an Aldi brand, and this cost me £24.99. On the back it says, turn your canned beer into delicious draft beer at home. Enjoy easy pouring beer through a tap, and this will take cans of 330, 350, 440 and 500 ml. Now the other one, I know it took bottles as well and took them up to 750 ml. I've not tried a bottle, I've literally got home and give it a go. It comes with 2 batteries, that's what it runs off. And this is what it looks like in real life. So there you go, it's very basic. It does feel, initial thoughts, very plasticky, very cheap, as you would expect. Comes with a little drip tray. There's your tap. Forward we'll pull it, we'll pour your beer. Doing it the other way, I think we'll pour your beer still, but it will give you more foam. It comes pretty much in 3 sections. So we take the bottom section off. There you go. There's your pipe that you put in your can. That's just the bottom of it where you sit your can in. And the top part, if we take that off, that's basically the gubbin. So you've got a little compartment there for your batteries. Takes two batteries, and that just slots on and lines up. And there's 2 lines. I don't know if you can see, but there's 2 lines there and a couple of lines there, and that's just how you line it up. And simply, all you do is, there we go. Like I say, take that off, put your can in there, put your tube in the can, and pour away. Before you start, it does say give it a bit of a rinse through. Just put some water in a glass or in a container that fits in there. Just run some water through it. It also tells you to clean after every use. Probably, I'm guessing if you're going to have one, if you're going to have a few anyway, it's probably all right. But after that, maybe run some hot water through the pipes. We've got a little pipe there, as you can see. So I'm going to give this a go and see if it's any good. I'm not expecting the beer to really sort of taste any difference, but is it going to give me a draft experience? That we will have to see. So the beer I bought in for this experiment, which was quite hard to actually pick a beer that I wanted to drink 4 of, was Star of Brahman. Star of Brahman. So we got that. It's 5%, 440ml can. I've reviewed it before. So what we're going to do is get this open and give it a go and see what happens. So they've released this for their sort of Father's Day thing, which is, what, 2 weeks away, a week away, just over a week away. I got in there today for, let's give it a go. So open the can. This is what it says do. It does come with instructions and everything. Let me just quickly get them out. Comes with instructions, tells you about the cleaning, tells you all the usual rubbish that these things need to tell you how to set it up. And you also, for £24.99, get a 3-year warranty. So let's get this going. Beer is open. We've got to get the tube in there. Well, actually what we're supposed to do is put the can in there, as you can see, and then drop that on top with the tube in the beer can. It does tell you that initially it might take a second to start pouring through, and once you stop pouring, it will sort of carry on for a second or so. So I'm gonna turn my camera around. I don't know what this is going to be like. This is probably going to be a complete shit show, but we'll have a go. So we'll tilt that down again. Now I'm going to do a comparison between just a can and the Fizzics one. So for now we'll just go with the Fizzics. We've got two identical glasses for when I do the two. So simply, let's give it a pour and see what happens. Well, as you can see, beer is coming out. Like I say, it may well be a big gimmicky thing and what have you. It is pouring a nice head on it, it's got to be said. And apparently if you want more head, you just tilt it backwards. So we will have a go at that. We will have a go at that. I'll stop there. You maybe saw that it just run on for a little bit more, but if I do it backwards, I think that's it. Look at that. That really gives it more foam. So, beer in a glass. Would it normally come out like that? I don't know. I think we'll keep that one like that for now. There we go, so I can show you. And we'll see, we'll crack this one open and see if we can actually get a beer looking like that in the same style glass. Like I say, both been washed up at the same time, both rinsed out. I'm being a bit more vigorous to try and create that head. So there we go. That's the two of them. I'll tell you what, obviously the beers aren't going to look any different. This looks like it's got a few more bubbles than that one. That could just be the glass. But head-wise, yes, that one is bigger. I used the extra pour on it. But this head, out the can from a standard pour, looks a little bit more open. Doesn't look as creamy. Whereas that one looks like a lovely creamy head on it and looks more like a draft pour. So, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in on the Ambiano beer dispenser one first. Is it worth sniffing? I don't know. We'll go in, I'll have a sniff anyway. No real difference really. I'm just wondering whether, it could just be your head. It almost smells creamier, but that could just be me. Obviously a thicker head, it is starting to go down. That one's looking a bit sad now. But I think the main thing is, let's try it, see if this dispenser gives you that draft beer experience, and then I'll compare the two. So let's dive in. Cheers. Got to be said, seems quite creamy. And it does feel quite smooth. It feels like it's different, but until I actually try this one, this is where we'll find out. Now, as you can see, the head's gone down on that. I'm going to try and give it a swirl and try and build it up a bit, but you're not getting that. And the head retention on that is really good. So let's dive in, give that a taste. There is a difference. It's very subtle. It's not massive, but I think there is a difference. Let's go again. Yeah, I think there is subtle differences. There is a subtle difference there. I'm going to top that one up. I'll try and be vigorous like that. Whoop. Bit too vigorous, Baz. But yeah, we have got a good head on that now. And it is quite, it looks compact, but it doesn't look creamy like the other one did. We'll give this a top up. Now what I would say with this machine is it runs off 2 little batteries. it'll be interesting to see how long they last. I kind of don't think it's gonna last that long. Well, that can is now at the end, so there is nothing else in there. So there we go. Yeah, even for me, it still looks better. Yeah, alright as the last bit, so you got the dregs of the head there, but the bottom part of the head does seem nice and compact, whereas that is sort of opening up already. Pardon me. So let's go in again. Carbonation is there, but the bubbles seem smaller. So it feels that little bit smoother, and it feels a little bit more creamy as you drink it. Let's go in on the standard poured one now from the can. Yeah, that's the difference. That's the difference. The one out of the Ambiano beer dispenser, don't get me wrong, this is not a huge, massive difference, but what it does, it takes the edge off the can. So I think it's sort of a little bit less carbonated, or the bubbles in there are smaller, so it just feels that little bit smoother. I also think giving it a pour from that gives you a much thicker condensed head, so it feels a little bit creamier as you drink it. And it doesn't really change the beer, but what it does, it makes it a little bit more of a better drinking experience. But let me go in again. Yeah, I was going to say, when that head starts going and you just get the liquid, that this one feels maybe as carbonated as that, but I don't think it does. I don't think it does. I do think this little gadget here, it takes the rough edges off a can of beer. But is it worth your 25 quid? Well, yeah, it's a bit gimmicky. It's a bit gadgety. So, you know, the fact they bought this out for Father's Day, I think sums it up. You're never going to buy this, I don't think, when you've got machines like the Perfect Draft, the Blade, your beer dispenser, the beer monster thing, if you like, for your 5 litre kegs, the sub. You're not going to buy it if you're expecting stuff like that. But for a little bit of a novelty item, a little bit of a fun gadget, I think it's worth picking up at 25 quid. When you look, the Fizzics was £99 and £150. I mean, if I don't know how much better than this that would be, but I can't imagine it being that much better. But if you do like a few beers and you fancy trying to get the best out of your beer, certainly on Stara Pramen, I would say it's well worth it. Bearing in mind, I gave that a really vigorous pour. So to the point that the head was coming over. That one, I give it the standard pour to start, and then give it more foam at the start. But I got to the end of the can and it didn't really create much head. But even now, that beer is still looking like it has a better head. So yeah, is it worth it? 25 quid, yeah, it's a bit of fun. Does it improve the beer? The beer will still sort of taste the same, but I think it does add a little bit to the experience. If you've got 25 quid you want to spend and have a bit of fun with, pick it up. Like I say, it's in Aldi. I don't know how many they're going to have. Released today, Sunday the 2nd. It's a bit of fun. I think for canned beer, if you've got cans in your house, why not whack a couple of batteries in it and use it for that if you're going to drink them, a few of them. Like I say, read the instructions. It does say about cleaning out. I wouldn't clean it out after every can, but if you are going to have a few, clean it out following day or something. I'd put some hot water in it, or even maybe a little bit of sterilizer in that water, just to keep the pipe clean. But yeah, I like it just because it's a bit of fun. It's not too expensive, you know. Like I said, 150 odd quid. If you were paying that 100 quid, I wouldn't fucking touch it. 24.99. Bit of fun. Your dad has a bit of fun, and it will improve the beer a little bit. So there you go. There's my thought on this one. Hope you've enjoyed it. Keep an eye out for it in Aldi, and I'll see you again soon on another beer review. Cheers.